So how far has the blight of bad science spread? According to the latest scandal, even as far as science classics like the Apollo moon landing. Alabaster Codify reports from across the big pond they call the Atlantic Ocean.
It's 1969 and the world watches three heroes alone in space.
Or was it four? Who is the yelper on this boosted sound tape? The 0836 whimper was originally explained as atmospheric retching, but shocking new evidence suggests the sound was made by this man, Peacecap Johnson, a submental who died last week at the asylum where he lived for the last 27 years. It's claimed a box of letters found under his bed, many from Buzz Aldrin, prove that Johnson was the fourth man on 11. From these guys right now, it's no Apollo, but an ex-operative defied NASA to tell us que pasa.
Johnson, who was codenamed Sleeping Beauty, was a man of very low intelligence. He never really understood what was going on.
Johnson's job was to act as onboard sex receptacle.
Sleeping Beauty was trained to present his posterior to a hole in the locker whenever the crew members required relief.
Since the early days, distorted sex drive in orbit has been a sticky problem.
On board Gemini, John Young raped and ate alive 2 experimental monkeys.
Experiments with the rear end of horses failed. Women were deemed too silly for space. So what kind of man would agree to be the ass in NASA?
He had to be pretty much a 0-watt bulb. We stopped looking when we found him winning the stupidest boy in the Dane County Fair for a 3rd year running.
The 0836 whimper is Johnson's giant squeak for mankind at the hands of a frustrated Collins.
He took out his frustration on Johnson. And it's what psychiatrists would call a bully ramming.
By contrast, Aldrin used Johnson gently, and they forged a bond that saved Johnson's life.
Lose beauty, repeat, lose beauty.
When Houston required Johnson to be ejected into space, Aldrin refused.
11, it is imperative beauty is lost. I repeat, Houston, you can't do that.
Once down, Johnson was whisked to a shut-up-and-eat home, where his daffy moon talk seemed like any other booby babble.
I hope Buzz can come back and clean my dirty with his silky fish.
The astronauts are now in hiding and will only issue statements through an animal.
But Aldrin's letters make that testimony irrelevant. They abound with muted references to sex acts written in a plaintive tone that suggests a still-present yearning. This is Alabaster Codify for 10 and Brass Eye on the new buzz about Buzz, the Bum Buzzard. Did he fly in a rocket or fly up a socket?